Assalamu alaikum dear students. Students, we are going to start with chapter number 4, Structure of Atoms. You might be thinking, why not chapter number 3 first and chapter number 4 first? So chapter number 3 is Atoms and Molecules. Before we go for learning atoms and molecules, it is important to know the structure of an atom. So first we will understand atom and then we will go with chapter number 3, Atoms and Molecules. Okay, so dear student, in chapter number 3, it is written that you have learned about the atoms. We will be learning it afterwards. The existence of the different kind of the matter is due to the different atoms constituting them. Now, the question arises, what makes the atom of one element different from the atom of the another? And are atoms really indivisible as proposed by Dalton? Are they similar to the constituents inside the atom? We shall find out the answer to these questions in this chapter. We will learn about the subatomic particles and the various modes that have been proposed to explain how the particles are arranged within the atoms. A major challenge before the scientists at the end of the 19th century was to reveal the structure of atom as well as to explain the important properties. The elucidation of the structure of atom is based on the series of experiments. One of the first indications that the atoms are not indivisible come from the studying static electricity and the condition under which electricity is conducted by different substances. So dear student, it was a challenge for the scientists to make it clear about the difference between the different particles of the atom. So which was being studied in this particular topic, that is charged particles in the atom. So charged particles, there are some particles which are possessing charge, that is being come to know by the small activity, that is number 1, comb dry hairs. Does the comb attach small bits of paper? Number 2, rub a glass rod with the silk cloth and bring the rod near the inflated balloon. Observe what happens. So dear student, in this both the activity, it happens that when we are taking the comb and when we are just rubbing it in our dry hairs and when we bring it near the bits of the paper, you are able to see it stuck with it. So how it stuck? It means that there are some charged particles within the atom. Also, when we are just rubbing the glass rod and when we are bringing it near the silk cloth, it also gets stuck near that particular, it is bringing, when you are bringing that particular near the balloon, it gets stuck over there. So it shows that there are some charged particles. Okay, from this activity we can conclude that on rubbing two objects together, they become electrically charged. Where does this charge comes from? This question can be answered by knowing that atom is divisible and consisting of a charged particles. Dear student, one of the scientists said that the atoms cannot be further divisible. That was given by John Dalton. But dear student, this activity is proving that atom is further divisible in the sense of protons, electrons and neutrons. So in this chapter we are going to talk about this particular protons, electrons and neutrons. Where are they located and what is the exact structure of the atom? That was been coming forward by knowing from the different scientists. Okay. Many scientists contributed in relieving the presence of the charged particles in the atom. By the 19th century, indivisible particle was being known but contain at least one subparticles. Okay, and it was given by J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson told about the electrons. Even before the electrons was identified, the protons, which was given by E. Goldstein. So E. Goldstein given the first contribution of the particular particle, and this was experienced by his discharge tube experiment, and in this particular the ray of the particle which is going is called the canal rays. These rays are positively charged. So this question can be asked. That what are the canal rays? So you can say that these rays were positively charged radiations which are ultimately led to the discovery of the another subparticle. The subparticles has a charge equivalent in the magnitude but opposite in the sign to that of the electron. Okay dear student, it mass is approximately 2000 times as that of the electron. Very important. आपका जो proton है उसका mass 2000 times more than the electron. Electrons are having very negligible mass. You can say that we can avoid the mass of the electron, but the proton mass is 2000 times more than the electron. Okay, and this was observed over there in the electric discharge tube experiment. Okay, so E. Goldstein discovered the proton, J.J. Thomson discovered the electron. So this is what you have to remember, very important. Okay, in general the electrons is represented by E and with the charge minus, and when the proton is represented by P with the charge plus. The mass of the proton is taken as 1 unit and its charge is as a plus. The mass of the electron is considered to be negligible and its charge is -1. So you are able to see that we go for writing proton as a P plus and electron as a E minus. So this was particularly we have found out with the experiment, that is discharge tube experiment, and we say that positive rays are called canal rays. Those are called canal rays. Particular name is given to that one. And also remember that this is very important. This information is very important. Who discovered electron, who discovered proton, and so on. Those are very important things. Okay, it seems highly that an atom was composed of the protons and electrons mutually balancing their charges. It also appears that the proton were in the interior of the atom, whereas the electrons could be easily removed off, but not the proton. Now the big question was, what sort of the structure did the particles of the atom forms? We will answer to this question in this particular session. We are, my dear students, in this chapter we are going to learn about the structure. So first of all the question arises, means starting of the chapter is telling us about that due to certain experiment we came to know that atom is having certain charges. Okay, then the experiment was done by the scientists like E. Goldstein. When we came to know that there is a positive charge particle, negatively charged particles, and we came to know, now further we are asking, the question arises, okay, you are having electron, you are having proton. Now the question arises how they are located and what will be the structure of the atom. We will start the structure of atom from our next video. We are going to learn the structure of the atom given by different scientists, and we will come with the final structure also.